Everyone, today we will see about globalization and localization testing. So what exactly are the globalization and localization testing? These are essential processes in the software testing that ensures that the application can function correctly across different cultures, languages and regions. So what is localization testing? So we have to verify the application or product is designed to work for specific culture or local. That is a localized product. And globalization testing means the product which is designed to work in any culture or any local or any region of the world. So this is called as a globalization testing. So we will see in details what is the differences between globalization and localization testing. So just understand globalization testing means we have to verify the product which is designed to work in any culture or any local globally. So that should work globally everywhere. Whereas localization testing means we have to verify the product which is designed to work for specific culture or specific region only. So that product will be working in specific region or specific culture area only. So that comes under localization testing. So now let's go one by one. So globalization testing. It is also known as internationalization testing. In globalization testing, we verify that the application can support various languages, regional settings, and cultural conventions without requiring engineering changes to the source code. Let's take a simple example of Facebook.com. So, Facebook.com is a globalized product. It is supported across all the areas of the world, different countries, different regions. It supports many languages of different countries and it can be accessed by people of different countries. So, it is a globalized product. Facebook.com is a globalized product because it supports all the regions, multiple languages of the world, and it can be accessed by different people of different countries. So that comes under globalization testing. So our application, if it is globalized, we have to ensure that the application can handle international data inputs and international outputs as well. So main objective is ensuring the application can handle multiple languages, multiple character sets across the global. Because for globalized product, they should work correctly across different regions with the different languages of different countries and they can be accessed by different peoples all over the world. And those applications we have to verify that they should support for different regional settings. For example, date formats. So we know there can be a different type of date formats depending on the region. So wherever that application is getting used, depending on the date formats supported in that region, our application should work correctly. Currency related. So different countries have different currencies. So if our product is globalized product, we have to verify that it should work correctly with different type of currencies and time zones as well. So time zone can change depending on the region across the world. So for the globalized product, during the globalization testing, we have to test that it is working correctly for different type of time zones. We have to also verify that application properly handles the international data formats and conventions. A simple example can be a mobile number. So different type of regions can have different type of mobile codes and even the mobile number formats as well. So all those mobile number formats depending on the different countries should be supported in our globalized product. Different type of currency should be supported. Currency format should be supported. So all these things we have to verify during globalization testing. For the applications, if it is globalized application, we have to make sure that all these points are working correctly. Some examples of globalization testing. So now let's see some examples and the pointers which we have to remember while doing globalization testing on our product. Language support. Let's take a scenario that there is one application that need to support English, Chinese and Arabic language. So what we will test? We will test that after changing the system language to Chinese and Arabic, we have to verify that the application correctly displays the text and handles inputs for those languages. So if you change the system language to Chinese, then your application language should also get changed to Chinese. And it should handle the Chinese inputs and it should show the Chinese outputs as well on the website. So that we have to verify for language support in globalized product. Supporting different type of dates and formats. Now let's take an example. There is an application which displays date and times. So in globalized product, we have to ensure that date and times are displayed correctly according to the regional formats. For example, in the US, normally MMDD YYYY format is followed. So that should be displayed correctly. And for UK, DDMMYY format is followed. So depending on the region, date time format should be correctly handled. Currency formats. Let's say there is one application that handles the financial transactions. So for such financial transaction related globalization testing, we have to test that currency symbols and formats are correctly displayed based on regional settings. Example, dollar symbol for US dollars and euro symbol for euros. So that we have to verify during globalization testing. So this is about globalization testing. So we have to make sure that our application is globalized. If it is globalized application, it should support different type of data formats, currency formats, mobile number formats, language format, etc. Depending on those formats, there should be inputs and outputs as per the selected format. So that is the main objective of globalization testing. Now what is localization testing? Localization testing is the software testing technique in which the behavior of a software is tested for specific local region or specific local culture only. The purpose of doing localization testing is to verify that software is specifically designed for that specific local region only. It can be a local linguistic and cultural aspects for a particular locale. It is a process of customizing the software as per the targeted language and specific country. And the major area affected by localization testing includes content and UI. A simple example of localization testing is there can be some application, there can be some websites which are specifically designed for that specific local only. Or let's say example of qq.com, im.qq.com or the baidu.com. Now these websites are specifically used and accessed by Chinese people only. It is specifically limited to China only. It supports only in the Chinese language and it can be accessed only by people of few countries. Hence, it is a localized product. So this is the example of localized product. So these specific applications or specific websites are designed only to be accessed by specific region or specific local. That is called as a localization testing. So what are the objectives of localization testing is we have to verify that all the user interface elements and content are translated correctly depending on that local region. We have to also ensure that the application's functionality and layout are appropriate for the target local. We have to check that cultural conventions and local regulations are properly implemented in that application during the localization testing, because that is limited for specific targeted country or specific region only. We have to also validate that the application handles local data formats and standards correctly. So we have to ensure that the application handles the local data formats and standards correctly. What are the different examples of localization testing? Most important is translation accuracy. If the application is localized for French market, then we have to verify that all the user interface elements, error messages, and content which is displayed on website are accurately translated into French and make sense in context, because only translation is not enough. It should make the correct sense of that translation. So that if the application is designed specifically for French market, it should have the correct context and correct French content on that application. Cultural appropriateness. So now since these are the localized product, and if there is an application that includes culturally specific images and icons, then we have to ensure that all the images, icons and symbols are culturally appropriate for that specific target market, and that should not offend any local sensibilities, because it is targeted to specific region or specific local only. So it should not offend them. So we have to ensure that while doing localization testing. There can be some local regulations as well. Our application must comply with local data and protection laws. So test case can be verifying the application adheres to local data protection regulations like GDPR in Europe. UI adjustments and layout. If the application is localized for languages with different text lengths, so different type, let's say we have to check the user interface layout adjust correctly for the languages that requires more or less space. For example, German text often requires more space than English. So if it's a localized product for German text, it will take some more space compared to English language. So we have to verify that during layout and UI adjustment related testing in localization testing. So these are some examples of localization testing. So this is all about globalized testing and localization testing. So what is the main difference between globalization testing and localization testing is, in globalization testing, we have to ensure that the product which is globalized is supported different type of languages, different type of currency formats, different type of regions and different type of locals. Because that product is designed for global level. It should work in any culture or any local. For example, Facebook.com. Facebook.com supports in multiple languages. It is supported multiple currencies. It supports different type of data formats like mobile number, etc. So that is a globalized product. Facebook.com is a globalized product. Whereas there can be specific applications, for example, Baidu.com or QQ.com. Those are very localized product. They are accessible only by Chinese people. So they are specifically designed for specific countries. So such localization testing we have to verify during localization testing. We have to verify that product is designed to work for specific culture and specific local only. Translation is correct, all the data inputs is handled correctly, that we have to verify during localization testing for localized product. So that is about globalization and localization testing. Thank you for watching this video.